Hi, everyone. Most of you know I'm Steve. I'm here with Justin Benitez and Brian Sanchez, who are both personal trainers at Parkway Athletic Club in Carson City, Nevada. All right, so we're going to talk about alternative training. There's a lot of crazy stuff going on. I watch the personal trainers in our gyms, and they do a lot of things. I started off as a personal trainer about 70 years ago. Uh, but things are way different now. Training is way different. The exercises are different. There's a lot of alternative type training practices that personal trainers use and that people in the gym use. It almost seems like everything's going back to the 70s. So before we get going on that, if you guys are interested in interviews with personal trainers, doctors, and nutritionists, subscribe to the channel. If you're interested in our weight loss program, use the QR code on the screen or the link in the description. So, Brian, you come from a powerlifting background, right?
That's correct. Yeah.
And Justin, you come from a boxing background.
Yeah. Yeah.
So first, Justin, tell us how you guys are incorporating boxing and maybe not boxing itself, but how things that relate to boxing are incorporated into exercise.
Kind of like with I would say like hit workouts. Really working on explosive movements and everything to help with that fast muscle twitch. A lot of my lessons that I do, even with people that want to just do weightlifting and everything, if they want to get a little bit stronger or faster in any kind of movement, I just have them do a certain movement a different way and really incorporate that into boxing or into any general lift with them.
Now I noticed that a lot of your personal training clients,
Hmm.
you actually incorporate boxing into your personal training. So it's
Yeah.
part of their workout. They come in and they're going to see you for 50 minutes to an hour. And sometimes you may have them doing a certain workout, but you may end or you may start with maybe 5-10 minutes of something up in our boxing section, right? Area.
Yeah. Yeah, I have them start there, and the reason why I have a lot of them start there, and most of the time we finish there as well, is because there's a lot of different movements that we can do, and there's a lot of different ways that boxing is going to be able to help us. Boxing is going to help with the core movement. It's going to help with your. It's like a full body exercise all the time, and you've really got to learn how to move your entire body without being as awkward. And I'm not saying like powerlifting is awkward or anything, but you're really stiff when you,
Yes.
yeah, it's awkward, but you're not as stiff as you want to be. And you really got to learn to loosen up and go with the flow with boxing. And that's why I feel like it helps out a lot of my clients when they do that.
So, Brian, this is an interesting question. How have you seen things change? Because you've been doing this for a long time. How have you
It's
seen things change in the last decades?
well, what I really like and what Justin brings to the table, because I will tell you the positive change that we get from this stuff, Steve, is opportunities to move in um, different planes of motion, front to back, side to side, and circular. When we were all lifting back in our day, Steve, as you know, we would pick it up and we'd put it down. We were forward and back. We were side to side. We didn't necessarily talk about the planes of motion and how the body should incorporate different angles of movement. And I'm so convinced that it does. Uh, uh, it's such a great benefit to our clients that I too push my clients into Justin's programs. Several of the people that I've worked with in the past and where I'm working with right now do a lot of their basic strength training with me. And then for their movement and conditioning, they move over to Justin. And we've done a real good job teaming up and getting our people at a higher level of fitness. And I will tell you that the success I'm seeing in Justin's program, that my clients that I'm specifically working with today, because they're going into the boxing program and they get this burst movement work done, it's turning over into their strength, and it's actually enhancing their abilities to perform with me in their strength conditioning. And we do a lot of stability work, a lot of balance work, and strength work, but it's refining their muscles in a very different way, and their bodies are almost recomping into like a bodybuilder look. It's incredible to see because they're working those fibers in such a different fashion. And you also see, group classes coming in. We have dance classes. We're putting together programs for children in our studios. We're also working with different age groups. We're bringing in sports teams. We bring in all kinds of diverse programs into our facilities so that we can really capture total fitness, total well-being, total body, total soul, total thought, creating a better person. And I think for everybody that's involved in these things, their health gets better, their spirit gets better, their mindset and their well set moves in a forward motion.
The younger crowd really seems to be into this functional stuff. Um, Row machines, combat bikes. Um,
It's kind of
they're,
weird, huh?
they're really popular. High intensity interval training, short bursts, flexibility. And it's interesting. I don't know which is coming first. If the younger crowd is just into that, because a lot of these people in the younger crowd, Gen Z, they're doing this stuff and they're not even athletes, but they're training like athletes. And then I don't know if it's the senior citizens like me and Brian. We look at them and we say, hey, I want to try that. Um, so I just think it's very interesting that things seem to just kind of be evolving. And what do some of your clients say, Justin, when a client says, and you put them through different things, and I mean, I saw one of our trainers up there had a guy today going down a row. It was Sam, and she had medicine balls, like 5 of them in a row, and she wiped this guy out in a couple minutes. He would grab the ball, throw it over his head, go to the next ball, throw it over his head, and then she would have him go and she would line him up on the other side. He'd go back, throw him over his head again. Just things like that. It's functional. And
Mhm.
so people can get out of chairs easier. And but why do you think the younger crowd who aren't athletes are doing this type of thing? Is this building their body? Is this it doesn't build their biceps like a bodybuilder would. Why is it so popular?
Well, Steve, you got to think about it too. So, functional fitness, when we really try to look at it in a different way, moving around, when we're kids, we're always moving around, always moving around. When we start getting older and we stop moving as much, we tend to sit and stay in that place. So we want to try to break ourselves out of that habit and really start moving around. It's really interesting because when you say what have some of my other clients do or how do I approach them, really and truly what I do is I just ask, hey, you want to try boxing? Why not give it a try? Why not help? And they ask me, what's the benefit? Because I have one client, the oldest client that I have, two, it's a couple. They're 82, 83, and they do boxing. And they're worried, "Hey, is it gonna hurt me? Is it gonna do this?" No, it's not gonna hurt you. What we're gonna do is we're gonna get your muscles used to being moved and used like this. You're gonna hit some stuff, but you're not gonna hit it as hard. We're gonna start moving your body and really getting you to understand your breathing, understand how you're moving, how you're doing everything. And it's making your body stronger without making yourself bulkier. So you'll find a lot of these like super marathon athletes, with a very, very toned body, and they're like 70, 60 years old. Steve, look at you. You're looking great. You're older and everything, but you're moving great. You know what I mean? You're not just staying there and being put. If you were, you would have problems with your knees, your back. You're always moving. And that's the thing. Functional fitness keeps the body moving. It keeps the joints lubed up kind of thing. And you always want to continue to move like that. And that's why I think the younger generation is looking at it and saying, why not give myself the best that I can and more longevity in my life?
Really? So do you think that the younger crowd, the Z generation, is looking long term? Because that's not like a 22-year-old to think long term, but you think they're doing that?
So I think they are doing it, and it might just be a different way of the world. We're out there doing a lot more things now. You know, we're on the trails, we're hiking, we're running. There's a lot more fitness influencers now than there ever has been in the past. And I'm not saying that lifting heavy and everything is not going to help you. It is going to help you. We need to lift heavy as we get older too, but we also need to continue our movement so we don't just get big and bulky and can't move, and then later on not be able to do everything we used to do, like getting down out of a chair, getting up out of a chair, getting down to pick something up. We want to be able to always be able to move like that.
Yeah, you want to be mobile. Now, you said you have a couple that's in their 80s.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes,
Okay.
Yes.
I
And
do.
and and
They're amazing. They're awesome too.
they're in their 80s.
Yeah.
Now, aren't you worried that they might go home and like
No, no,
hit
and
each
see,
other?
that's
Or,
no, and see, and that's one thing I really love about boxing is because not only is it good for your body, but it's good for your mind. Good discipline for your mind. You can think of other ways to take out frustration. It helps you regulate your breathing. When you get hit in the face the first time, you get hit in the face and you get a shock. Like, what the heck just happened?
Right.
And so when you learn to breathe, and that's something I really emphasize in my classes is learn your breath, learn how to breathe. Nice and slow in, nice and slow out. Because it's going to give your brain that time to reset and let you know you're not in danger. And so if there's any kind of high tension, what you're really going to do is take a step back, breathe, calm yourself, and then move forward.
So you're not worried that Shirley's going to smash George?
No, no. And it's so funny because the couple that actually does work out together and they're a little bit older, they mess around. They're always talking back and forth, having a good time. And so there's nothing, no bad vibe there at
It
all.
probably unifies them, doesn't
It
it?
it really does. They come together and they have a good time and they mess around and they joke with each other. It's a great thing to see.
Right on.
So, we have a woman in there, great lady. And you guys will probably know you both know who I'm talking about, but she can squat 275
Man,
and
Man,
she's like 73 years old.
yeah.
Now,
young.
Justin's in there teaching her how to box. And I'm like going, no, you cannot teach her how to hit people. She's already a beast. She's a 73, 74-year-old beast. And you're going to teach her how to hit people? No, you can't do that.
Yeah, she's squatting and deadlifting over 200. No, it's nothing for her. But I find it interesting on this topic, and Justin brought it up. I actually think for the younger generation, they're kind of smarter than we were when it comes to fitness at that age because of the influencers. There's so much information out there where we were looking at it in books and magazines and trying to figure it out ourselves. We didn't have a lot of people in the 1970s and 80s and maybe even in the early 90s when it really started to boom. We didn't have a lot of resources to go through outside of the book of Arnie. You know what I mean? And I think that really helps the younger generation because they're getting taught very differently and they're getting to see a lot more information right up front through videos, through all these influencers posting their things of what's good, what's not good. Now, take it with a grain of salt because we don't always buy into everything that's out there. But I think they have more information at their access. And what's good about us at the Parkway is we're seeing that
Mm.
and we're bringing in, these superstars like Justin and these types of coaches that can bring a whole different venue to what we have and really serve the public in a different way.
Yeah, and it's like first. I mean, my background. Like I said, I started off as a personal trainer, but I was trained at the time by one of the best strength coaches in the country when I was playing football, and he was before his time. Way back in the early '80s, we were doing plyometrics and depth jumps and all kinds of crazy agility things like that. But now I'm seeing these youngsters do exercises I have never seen or couldn't even think of in my wildest dreams. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, they're coming up with all this information and all these new ways to move, and I think that's where when you couple, and we use Justin's program, if you couple your regular exercise programs with these other activities, it's just going to continue to develop your body in a whole different way. And we know that, well, at least I'm convinced of that without the strength conditioning, which I include boxing as part of it, because you're moving your whole body and controlling, it's a total body workout. Without that, you're at a loss when it comes to longevity. You have to have this in place. It goes hand in hand, obviously, with the way you what you consume and how you consume it.
Mm.
But without it, you're frail. And I love the idea that he brought forward that when Justin's training, especially some of us that are older, you need to know what it's like to get hit and to realize, yeah, you're going to be all right. Because it does change that mindset and their confidence comes around. Imagine if you're in your 70s and you've been popped in the schnoz a few times. You know, it doesn't knock you out and you're like, that's not so bad. Show me what you got, Justin.
Yeah.
And now they're in because they love it. I can't say enough good about what he's doing for our clients.
Well, I do know. I mean, and Justin's trying to get me up there to do it. I'm not doing it because I know
trying.
it's too hard. You know,
I'm trying to get
if
you
know what?
if you don't think it's hard, just try shadow boxing for a minute. Shadow box as hard as you can for a minute and see what happens.
Maybe we should do this. You know, to all the viewers out there, how about this? Justin takes me and Steve under our wing, and maybe in the spring we will have a battle royale, me and Steve.
Let's do it.
I'm not doing it.
Want to see that right there?
No way.
Steve, all you got to do is learn the foot movement. Go and cut angles. Just get away.
No.
I'll be out
You
of
know
breath.
who I'm gonna get? I'm gonna get. Well, I'll say her name. I'm gonna get Lynn to fight for me.
That's fine. And I'm gonna pick up what's his name out of the Sparks Club.
Lynn's gonna beat your butt, man.
We'll call Jason in. Jason and Lynn.
Jason and Lynn, that'd be a good fight right there.
Okay, so it fascinates me how the younger people all are really into this. And so another question I have for you guys, and I would guess it's our personal trainers that are kind of leaning, because I would say most of our personal training clients are on the older side, but they're all doing this same stuff that the kids are doing. Is that from them watching the kids, or is it from our trainers saying, try this? And because I know when they try it, when they go about their life and they're 78 years old and they go about their life and they're going to start noticing, you know what? I can get out of this chair easier. I'm not breathing as heavy. I can go upstairs easier. I can do this better. I can carry this better. Carrying bags of groceries, it seems easier. So I know that's happening. But do you think the older crowd is coming up with that on their own, or do you think our trainers are leading them into, hey, try this?
I think it's a little both.
Yeah, I think it's a little both as well.
You know, I do think what's really good is, like with the people that I'm with, when Justin's training people and I'm doing sessions, they flat out ask, and I'm like, yeah, get in there, go do it. So they see it going on. But also, if they don't and they're talking about wanting to do something different and they kind of bring it forward, that's when we can also, because we understand a little bit more about the program, is we can say, oh, why don't you give this a try? Go see Justin, get on his calendar, give it a shot. Kind of the same way we influence, you know, people that want to work on nutrition. We send them to David. You know, I had it because I know Sam knows how to put together workout outfits. I'm getting information for one of my clients to get with her so they can get stuff. Because we're starting to know more about each other as a team, we can share interests and information and send our clients to specialists within our own gym now. If somebody wants to get ready for a show, we'll send them to Dave. If somebody wants to work on their mobility and movement, we can send them to Justin. If somebody wants a pretty outfit, we can say, hey, Sam's the goods. She designs this stuff. Talk to her. You bring in talent, Steve, that isn't just about picking things up and putting them down. And us older trainers are understanding the need for this so we can help support it when our clients are asking us, you know, we're kind of getting up there. You think we should be doing that? The answer is absolutely.
Yeah.
Not only that, but like if someone wants to lift heavy like you, Brian, we just send them to you.
Yeah, well,
you
yeah.
and Eric and everything. You know, you guys are. I have a guy that's actually wanting to come in and actually be like Eddie Hall, and I was like, look, you got to get up early. I was like, you got to get with Brian. He's the guy to go to. So
Eddie Hall.
Yeah,
well,
he's a big guy.
Yeah, he can bench.
Yeah, he can bench.
But this is kind of happening where the 80-year-old up in the functional area sees what's going on and whatever type of functional exercises, and they're saying, hey, can I do that?
And seeing that's what it is too. So I have a few people that
They
have
see
some
the
shoulder.
22-year-old, hey, can I do
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, and that's what it is. I have a few people who are up there in age and everything. They have shoulder injuries, and so I have them actually do boxing because what it does, it gives you the movement from the shoulder and everything. It helps you move, and what it is taking away a lot of their pain. A lot of their pain is going away, and they're actually able to move it a lot better and easier. They're able to lift up stuff and put it up on the counter without having that pain come through.
Well, and where that comes into play, you think about this, Steve, is a lot of people when they're older, when they do get injuries and they're hurt, they minimize movement.
Hmm.
They stop using that joint. They kind of quit on themselves in those positions. So when they're coming in and they might be sitting down waiting for one of us, they see Justin's thing come up on the screen. It says, throw down with this guy. You know, that's not what it says, everybody, but I'm just saying. Um, they can see that. And when they talk to the coaches, we're like, yes, that will definitely help your movement. So I think we got a lot of things going on where we're promoting within our own gyms, people are seeing it. Plus the understanding amongst the team.
Mm.
We know where everybody's specialties are because you guys push us to unify. We know where everybody's specialties are so that we can guide them to the experts in those fields so we can get a better program. The days of, you come in and you train with somebody and it's taboo to train with another trainer because you'll piss them off.
Mm.
There's none of that here. We share clients here. And I think that's the benefit of being a part of the Parkway.
Yeah, that's great. So I'm going to ask you guys about social media, how people follow you. Now, Brian, I'm not going to ask you. I never
I
asked you
know.
because now the reason I don't ask Brian about his social media and how you can follow him is because he still has one of those rotary phones that hangs on the wall.
It works good, everybody.
See, I thought
Yeah.
it was like more the
And
Morse code.
he doesn't even have an answering machine. So I won't ask him. So, Justin,
Yeah.
if people want to follow you on social media, can they do that? How they do that?
Yeah, I'm on Instagram, so I do have Instagram. It's just Justin HB 45. You follow me on Instagram. I do have some videos up there with me boxing, and there's going to be a lot more coming up soon.
Awesome. And then, of course, we have Parkway on
Yeah,
TikTok and Instagram and Facebook. And we have Vitality and Wellness, which is where you're watching now. So there's also Vitality and Wellness channels on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. So, guys, thanks for being here, and we'll do this soon.
Take
yeah.
care,
Thank you.
everybody.
Have a good one.